I don't care what your phenotype is. You gonna get this music we got to play.
Yes.
It don't matter what you
I'm
look
not
like.
changing it.
Oi, bonitas! My favorite people stopped by today to talk about herbs. I would like to introduce Mrs. Dope Botanicals, Philadelphia. The twins, they're not twins, but they look like they're twins. They treat each other like twins. I love seeing them exchanging love. So can you tell them who you are and why you're here today? Bonitas.
Oh yeah, so we're sisters, twins, 13 years apart. But I'm Nakia Stith, co-owner of Dope Botanicals.
I'm Taahirah Stith, other co-owner of Dope Botanicals.
And they are dope. They are dope. They are herbalist certified, right?
Yes.
He's a clinical herbalist. We're both health coaches.
Okay, health coaches too. See, I didn't know that. So let's tell us more about the seriousness of creating healing herbs, concoctions, and elixirs, and tinctures, and all of the good stuff.
That's interesting when you say the seriousness. I think it is that whenever people entrust you with their health, their wellness, whether it's mood, energy, digestion, all the things that come with living this urban life that most of us have, it is serious business, right? To help people feel their best. And I feel like we take it that way.
Yeah, we take it very serious because we understand what we're being tasked with. We understand the vulnerability that people come into the shop with to tell you what's going on and then to ask for help. So we do take it very serious, and that's why it works for us, because we do take it very serious and we take account the body, how it works, how the body system works, how your constitution works, how these herbs work together, and how they also should be applied given the lifestyle that you live, or lifestyle adjustments you may have to do in order for this holistic path to work.
So if I walk into Dope Botanicals and I say, hey, I really feel a little like low energy, sluggish, and I don't know what to do. I'm taking all the supplements. How would you create like the herbal blend for me?
Well, first we have to find out, is this a moment in time? Or is this something you've been dealing with chronically? Right? Maybe you didn't get good sleep last night. That might not be a need to call in the cavalry because you didn't get good sleep last night. But if it's chronic, it's over time, you feel worn down, you don't know the last time you felt like yourself, then we have to adjust the approach for that, right? Because every situation isn't for every person, and it's not for everything. Just doesn't call for the same what's the word I'm looking for? I guess the same approach. So if we find out, it could be something like as simple as you need a little pick me up off the drink bar, right? Or it could be something where we need deep cellular rejuvenation, right? We need to work with your nervous system. We need to talk about herbs that work as sedatives. We need to talk about things that are going to really nourish you from the inside out. Or if this is some kind of a stress response, we may need to talk about nervines and adaptogens. So it really depends. But then we look and we talk to people and we figure it out, and you can pick up something that makes you feel good for the short term or the long term.
Yeah. I think it depends on your level of investment, right? After we figure out if this is a moment in time, and then what you're willing to do to get better. So whether that be a detoxification protocol that you might want to do, you could invest in that into the detox box. Maybe it's something where you just feel super sluggish because your digestion is like not working with you, or it's something you ate, or maybe you repeatedly offend your own body by eating things that don't agree with you, which many people do, and then you wonder what's going on, but intrinsically But
Or
somebody,
you're over caffeinated.
or you're over caffeinated,
I
and then
yeah.
and then you got the inverse happens
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the stimulants have just gone way too far,
much.
right?
And you're tired.
And you're tired, you're worn down. So we work with you from there, and sometimes these things do start with, okay, let me do a reset.
It's so true.
Like,
Yeah.
if this isn't just a moment in time, like a bad night's sleep, a bad day, a bad meal from last night, you know, a couple consistent bad decisions. If it's
Right.
not just that, then let's see, what can we do next? Maybe you do need a reset. Let's see where we go from there, and we'll talk about that. Or maybe you just need to add in this one thing to change some things, because you don't repeatedly go through this, or you're like, I don't want to go through this anymore. So these are different approaches.
And the body is constantly changing based on your lifestyle habits and stress levels and all of that.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
life gonna
Life is life.
It's life will life.
It's coming at us
It's
quick.
gonna come at you quick.
Coming at us
Quick. Long as you living, something gonna happen.
Absolutely.
Yes, that is true. So, what led you, ladies, to go to herbology school, herbalism training?
Well, that's interesting. You know, first off, herbalism is really a folk tradition, right? It comes from community. It comes from your family, your ancestry, heritage. I tell people all the time, I go, somebody knew something about herbs. Somebody knew something.
Always.
My
Right?
grandmother.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Somebody knew to give you a tea. Somebody knew to refuse this or give somebody that. And we often encourage people to interview your family and ask them, what was that thing in your family that worked as a remedy, right? So for us, our story was interesting because our dad, before my sister was even born, he decided he was going to change our life, right? Wow. And he came home and he thought, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to live. This is what we're going to eat. And I was 10 years old and I thought, it makes sense to me. He said, read these books. I read these books. It makes sense. And then by the time, a couple years later, my mom is like, oh, yeah, you're going to have a sibling. I'm like, oh, okay. Aww. So he brings this book home from the herb store. And that was it. I feel like that was it. That was the catalyst. So creating herbal remedies, or not just herbal remedies, but getting into herbal healing. So, and then I just said, I'm going to be a doctor. That's it. So I went and I got a biology degree.
Okay.
Life led me in a different way. But I always had this interest in natural arts and healing. So I became a business person who was like, oh, I'm going to go get certified. I'm a Reiki practitioner. You get certified in it.
Yeah.
Oh, I practice this modality. I get certified in acupressure. And, I'm a doula. Oh my gosh, do people even know what that is? Nobody knows what you're talking about in 2001. I am. People don't even, they're like, what's that? I'm like,
I must say, it's been a long time since I've been a doula.
Yes. It's been about 23 years. Over 20 years.
Whoa.
And then I decided, you know what? I really want to teach. I'm going to go be a childbirth educator.
Yeah.
So
You sound like a Sagittarius.
Oh, I'm an Aries.
She's an Aries.
He's a Sagittarius.
No, I know. Your sister's a Sagittarius, but you sound like us.
Yeah. It's a lot of fire. It's a lot of fire.
Yeah.
So all these things
Creativity.
happen over time, and we're like, okay, and people would ask us for things all the time. And then we decide, you know what? So my sister graduates from college.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's do something. So she's looking at programs and different things. Then we both go be health coaches. We decided to become certified health coaches. And I was like, I want to formalize everything I know in herbalism. I'm going to herb school. So I do that because I wanted to formalize what I knew. And I wanted to be able to craft a product line with that. And these were the things that people asked us for. These were the things that people asked us about all the time. And we needed a way to, I guess, present this to the community of people who wanted the things that we had to offer. So, having a science background definitely comes in handy with that. Being somebody who appreciates the lab work. I feel like the back of Dope Botanicals is the lab. Yes, sure. And it feels good. Utilizing the scientific method, I feel like, every day. but taking it to your earlier point, but taking it that serious, right? And we don't practice kitchen sink herbalism. This is not some stuff that we just got like a wild YouTube video and decided, oh yeah, we know how to do. No, we've been trained over time. It's been many years. We've had a plant-based lifestyle, we say, since the 1900s, before it was a trend, right?
Yeah.
So we've been in this level of lifestyle in a community of Black people for a very long time. So that's never lost on us, right? We don't. I thought this was just what you did, how you sustained yourself. So as we go and take this walk in the world, it really is all of the gifts that we have made manifest so that people can enjoy them.
Yeah. And I think also, even like when we talk to Granny and stuff and we learn like our great grandmother, and she was like this medicine lady.
She'll say, Mom, you know, you doing the stuff my mom used to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a continuation of our ancestors.
Yes, because it's in you, right?
It is within us.
in
The
you.
knowledge is here with us. And I think that at times we just forget about it because we always think that we don't know enough.
Yes.
But we know enough. We just need to tap into it and create disciplines to learn that. The curiosity to learn what you already had, that kind of calling to understand deeper. Like I signed up for a online course of 4 years ago in herbalism, and because I love herbs, I grew up with herbs. My grandmother, my mom, being from Brazil, growing up, like access to herbs right in my backyard. My grandmother used to cleanse us spiritually with leaves.
That's right. Yes.
Okay, my grandmother, not too
That's
long
right.
ago.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So for me, drinking tea, it's is a form of food as well, right? And even with that, there is art to it, right? So, and I want us to talk about that in a little while, but I really wanted to highlight, you know, you ladies' knowledge in herbs and health, because stopping by Dope Botanicals, the environment is beautiful, it's fun, and the people coming through, they are fun. And I'm sure that in a way, everybody's coming to have this experience with you ladies, but not knowing how much you do know and how much you ladies have dedicated your lives to continue this tradition of your family and our ancestors, because that's why I said it earlier, like medicine ladies, because that's what we are, right? As long as you know that in order to form medicine and medication, there was in a raw form before it got to manufacture. And that's what our ancestors understand, and that's how we in this lifetime are kind of keep that message alive, because we are doing their work. Right? Yeah. So then when it comes to, if I come in to the store, do I have a one-on-one? You guys have services where you offer like one-on-one sessions or packages of, if I'm trying to lose weight, or if I'm trying to, going through menopause, if there are stages that you can walk me through it with the boxes of different herbal blends, or what is your process?
So we can't do full consults in the store. Although people, I think they want us to.
Yes.
We can't, you know, because we just can't get enough of your history and time and all of that. But we will have some things like that coming soon. But definitely you're there because you have an issue. So time has to be made to talk to somebody about what's going on. That's more than just, take that, right? Because sometimes people come in and you may be a novice. This is new to you, right? Tea does have ritual attached to it, just in the very nature of it being tea. Learning how to prepare it, how to take care of it. But for all of those things, if you come in and you tell us that, then we definitely have a product that we can recommend for you to work with.
Yeah. And for more in-depth consultation, we are working on our consult calendar for people, because they want it, and it's only but so much. Sometimes when the store gets full, you know, and if we got to really dive deep and dig in to what's going on in a different level. So we'll have that coming soon, but we always still address like the need when you come in.
And the one thing that I noticed about you ladies was always asking, not with the same questions, but I felt like, okay, so tell me more about it. Tell me more about why you're sluggish, right? The reason why you might be sluggish. That's what we were talking about before we recorded the episode, but it's based on your lifestyle choices as well. Or it could be a season of your life as I am going through right now, right? There's nothing wrong with me. But in order for me to manage the hot flashes, manage the ups and downs of emotions, then you have a better idea. Okay, here's where I can lead her. These are the groups of herbs that we can introduce into your lifestyle, and then we can think about something else. So then I'm just curious. I have a very surface understanding in herbs. Like, what is the difference between boiling, let's say, keep it very simple, green tea versus black tea? Why one has to be brewed differently over the other? Could be different herbs, nervine or adaptogenic herbs, or there is tonifying herbs, right? So I would like for you ladies, because I feel like I'm curious. I know a bit, but I also want the audience to understand, like, there is art and science to herbs.
Yes.
So can we talk about that?
Yeah.
So we sell our herbs in 3 different forms only. We don't sell any pills, right? We sell herbs in a liquid, which is a tincture, extract, or an elixir, right? Or we sell herbs in a powder form, or we sell herbs cut, which is most commonly used for tea. Now, when you look at black teas and green teas, they have tannins in them, right? So tannins are something that if you overdo black tea, you go, what was that?
Yeah.
Those are the tannins, that bitter property that you've over extracted out of that tea. And that's why when people are looking for different, it may only need to be at 160 degrees, right? So it depends. When you're looking at teas like that. But for us in our world, we look at whether it's a root, a bark, a berry, or a leaf.
Yeah, so when you're dealing with roots, barks, and berries, you do have to bring those up to a boil. And that method is called decoction, because they make you work for it, right? So you really got to pull it out of them. So you bring them up to a boil. Usually that's about 220. Right? If we're talking about temperature, that's at 220. Bring it up, then you let it simmer for a bit, and then you turn it off, right? And it can steep. Now, depending on what kind of steep you're doing, is how long it'll steep. Then you might let it infuse overnight. Then the next thing, for leaves and flowers, we do infusions. Now, for herbs, you're always going to bring the water up to a boil for the most part if we're working with hot water. But you're not going to boil your leaves and your flowers. They're delicate. Yeah, so the water's brought up to a boil, but you don't want them rolling in the water with it. And then you'll just let them steep. You'll steep it at minimum 15 minutes, because we're talking about herbal teas here. Or you can do an infusion, where it's a stronger, more medicinal preparation where you're using more herbal matter, and you will have that steep 6 to 8 hours. Right, and then you'll strain it. So with an infusion, you get a different kind of tea. The liquid is a bit more viscous. You may see some of the oils getting pulled out of the herbs. Then it's totally different. But usually, it's about 2 levels of preparation, where you're doing an infusion, which is steeping overnight. Maybe you prepare it as just a tisane, where you do at least a 15-minute steep. Decoction, roots, sparks, and berries, they make you work for it. That's how you remember. You got to bring them up. Let them dance in the pot a bit, because that's the only way they're going to release and let go all their good stuff. And then some herbs you actually can cold infuse, right? So the mints you can cold infuse.
Very aromatic
They're
herbs.
very aromatic herbs. You can do that, because you're not going to hurt the essential oils the same way.
Properties.
Yes, and you get a sweeter tea that way, like chamomile, a cold infuser, holy basil, marshmallow root. Now those you can cold infuse, and you'll still do it for a 6 to 8 hour steep overnight, but you can extract those in water that has not been heated.
And this is one of the reasons why it's really unfortunate to see a lot of the companies that are selling just everything in a tea bag.
Yes.
telling you that
gosh.
you can get well.
Oh.
I'm sorry. It's not, it don't work that way.
Not with a bleach paper.
Oh my
Or
God.
microplastics.
Or you think you're
Right.
doing good with the sexy tea bag because
Yeah.
it's
It's
silky
full of
and it's full of
microplastics.
plastics, and you add that little silky plastic tea bag to hot water, and next thing you know, you're drinking plastic.
Yeah, so it's really important to look at it and open it up, and you'll find out it might just be tea dirt. It's tea dirt, tea dust, or something, but it's
Or
not.
residue of
Yes,
a
it's
blend
not
of,
that.
Yes.
herbs.
And it's not enough to heal you.
Yeah.
So sometimes or these gummies. Can we talk about the gummies?
Let's talk about the
On the market,
gummies.
right?
Yeah, it's not enough herbal matter in there.
No, I mean it's like, oh yeah,
And you
I
know,
don't know.
anything that can mass produce sounds sexy,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
With the story, right, of having a green life.
Yes.
But the production of these products, they end up losing the essence of the herbs.
Oh yes.
So like I always been a lover of loose herbs because I grew up with that, right? But a lot of us, because of the practicality, we are looking for something that is quick and it's easy to do. It's practical. So then,
So a portion of that is us
Yeah.
asking in the shop,
Yeah.
right? That's why some people love powders,
Yeah, you can
right?
do a powder.
You can add a powder to certain things.
does the powder? That's also not a selfish question. So herbs that they are in powder form, they still have the same longevity as loose.
It depends. It depends on the packaging of it, right? So because we package them in dark jars and they are sealed, the longevity can be like 2 years, and there's an expiration date on the bottom. But it can be, 2 years. Your herbs, you want to store them in a dark place, right? So that you can keep them for a longer period of time. The longest lasting of the herbs are preparation, I should say, are extracts and tinctures. So those are extracted in cane spirits, right? So when we do those, it's a very scientific preparation to make sure that each herb gets what it needs, right? Because every herb can't be extracted at the same alcohol point, at the same rate of water to alcohol. So it's a lot that goes into that. But the good thing about tinctures, for people who don't feel like, oh, I don't have time to make tea, right? Tinctures go right into the bloodstream because they bypass digestion. But even with that, tea is yet and still the most powerful of all the herbal preparations. And we tell people all the time, tea is the only thing that we have where you get every single element in your cup. You have earth, air, fire, ether, all of that is there for your consumption. So even if you take tinctures, they're amazing and we love them, and some things we prefer as a tincture because it's fast acting. But there are teas, and you should have a regimen of some kind of teas.
So
in your
which
life.
which one herb that you can give us an idea what someone can have a cup of tea of that particular herb every day and it will keep their immune system strong?
For that,
If there is just one.
so we'll talk about a class, right?
Okay.
For that, we always reach toward nutritive herbs, right? Alfalfa, nettle, dandelion. These are herbs that are tonics, moringa. They're tonics to the body. They're high in mineral. They're high in vitamin, and you can't go wrong with them.
Yeah, like you can't overdo those.
Okay.
It's no way in this world where we could ever have too much nettle or moringa tea, alfalfa tea, or dandelion. Like, you need it. What it's offering, you need it
And they
to
are
fortify your body.
and they are in that categories of adaptogenic herbs.
They're not adaptogens.
Okay.
They're tonics.
Tonics. Okay.
So that's something we could take every day, right? Because to your earlier point, we view herbs the same way. They're food. This is an extension of your diet. They are nutritious and they have nutritive properties that we need to have, right? So with that in mind, these are the herbs that they are here to give us everything. Nobody's killed dandelion yet, even with all the Roundup.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? These are wild plants that grow in nature the same way we're supposed to consume them. They grow in abundance, which tells us that this is made for you to have as much of it as you possibly can. That's why I grow, right? So, everybody wants a cute little lawn and they mad at don't be mad at the dandelion. They got a job to do. From the flower to the root. They are very powerful in our ecosystem and in our body system. So we love dandelion.
I love it. And I see how you get so like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to talk about this thing.
But nature is so reflective of what you need. Like you said, that's why they grow like that. Yeah. The nettles is like so abundant in the spring. It's everywhere. And it's also great for allergies, right? But it grows like that in the spring because it's telling you, like, I'm here.
Yeah, cleavers.
You need cleavers. Like, things grow in season for when people need them, and they grow in the way that we need them. If it's hard to find or it's a rare herb, it's probably for a very specific issue.
And rare occasions.
In rare occasions. That's why it grows like that, right? It's not for you to have it every single day. Like, because honestly, you shouldn't be feeling like that every single day. Like, that's just the truth of the matter. You shouldn't be feeling like that every single day. That's why you can't find it. But the other ones, they like, I'm here for you.
I'm here.
Yes. Drink me.
Yes.
Eat me. Tincture me.
And I love the way you put it. Like, the tea is a ritual, right? And we look at Asian culture or Chinese medicine is the founder of this, one of the approaches when it comes to herbs and the relationship with the body that people can understand. Right? Our ancestors didn't write or create a concept. We just know because we get that stories through our...
I don't know how far we want to go. Because that's an interesting story.
Well, I would like to hear more about it. But here's the thing. The only thing that the majority of people understand, they only know about herbs in a mass form.
Yes.
Chinese medicine and Ayurvedic medicine.
So what the Chinese system is really good at is diagnosing. They're really good at diagnosing. And in my studies and some of the things I've learned is the diagnostic portion of traditional Chinese medicine is really good, right? But how can I put this?
Just put it out there. Bring it.
We have to talk about, this is not devoid of racial realities, right? So Chinese medicine has its day in the sun because it is revered by traditional medicine. So we have to ask ourselves, well, why is that? Traditional Chinese medicine, TCM, is revered. Classical Chinese medicine is not. Because they removed the spirit and started serving it to you as TCM, right? So that doesn't have the elements, the spiritual world, and all of those things involved in it. So it's easy for a doctor who's based in this rigorous science religion to then go and say, yeah, that works because they removed the spirit out of it. Ayurvedic still has some of the spirit left, right? But then it gets really popular, and then you have somebody who goes and they decide they're guru such and such, and they want to bring this to the masses or to the people with this, like, it's shrouded in mystery, almost to the point where you don't get it. But then you got dandelions, nettle, Queen Anne's lace. You got all these things growing right in your North American backyard that don't nobody know what to do with. So to me, there's a problem there. So you need to go back, and that's why I'm saying tracing your own ancestry is so important. Who are your people? What did they use? If they were from Philly, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, whatever, what was growing in that land that they used that healed them? They're from Brazil. What was happening there, right?
Lemongrass in my backyard.
What was happening? Right. But you're not going to find that in those other systems. So then you got to find, well, who look like me? Who's here to heal me? So these are things that are very important, I think, and it doesn't mean that those systems don't work. We go in and out of these worlds because what you find out is, I call it lemongrass, somebody else call it fever grass, and we talking about the same thing.
Same herb.
So we have to find the middle ground for what works for all of us as people. Because we have people come in all the time and they say, oh, well, I've been, okay, how's that working for you? Because you in Dope Botanicals now.
I love it. I love it.
So I think, like you said, so much of this stuff gets weird because in the Caribbean, people have been drinking tea for years.
For years.
All throughout the U.S., people who look like us been drinking tea. Whether it's been bush tea, it's all tea. And we have, melanated people have a very strong oral tradition of things. Things are passed down through oral tradition, which does not take away validity. So that's the issue here, right? Yeah. Oral tradition is real. You're taught through what you see. You learn things through watching your grandmother. She never wrote that down.
Or if she did, somebody came along and erased her name off and put theirs on it.
Well, that's
we really want to. Let's talk about it.
Because we also got to deal with the erasure of us in these things, right? Yep. Because it's always there. So that's very real. But, things get popular because certain people, they say, oh, yeah, that works. Let's do that. Or that was taken
and it's exotic.
And it's exotic.
And that is just real.
Yeah.
Even in the herbal world.
And like the same thing, like even for the way we portray ourselves, right? I don't put on the herbalist costume. I don't make myself look like this person who you might think, oh, they're into this life. They're this kind of guru. They're into that. I'm not cosplaying herbalism for you. It does not make me smarter or make me know more to put on the outfit that you think I should have on, right? Because I know what I know. So I think a lot of that they all intertwine and weave together in the digestion of who's saying what, in the validity of who's saying what, and sometimes even in some of these bigger pictures of what people deem as like being the efficacy rate of those things, right?
Yeah.
Because it's crazy.
Yeah, just like these science studies, right? If it is not on paper, doesn't exist or not true. And that is not true.
Yeah, it's not true.
Right.
Because there's so much that goes into healing.
It's so much.
Right? It's so much.
And this thought just came through my mind, and the beauty of our people is that we are making that tea now ourselves.
Yeah.
You're also being supported by your own ancestors with you.
Yes.
So there is a spiritual component to the herbs as well. The permission, like in Chinese, not Chinese, but Japanese culture, I'm a little familiar because I live there. The making of tea is a spiritual ritual.
Yeah.
Right?
Because you're using all the elements.
Yes.
Because you have fire present. You have water present. You have air present. You have the earth present. You have all of those things present for you to make something that you then ingest. And that becomes a manifestation of what everything the earth had to offer to you, you got to drink it. Right?
Beautiful.
Yeah. So that is the ritual of tea.
Yeah. I love it. It's that simple, and we make it complicated.
Yeah.
Because we think it's too much work. We, at times, because we aren't taught, like we are blessed to be taught, right? Yeah. But there are a lot of, especially the newcomers, yes, they have that knowledge from social media, thank God, right? But there is some degree, but there are a group of people that are like,
the interest.
They become curious, right? Because for example, just getting to someone that has this kind of, not diagnosis, but the symptom that you're going to walk them from point A to point B is not going to cure overnight, because on one is because it's natural, it's going to happen that quick. That's not true, right? Because you are addressing different systems to this point. And then you also need to make the lifestyle changes that cause this issue. So it takes also
Yes.
discipline to get to that
It does.
point.
It does. And the goal of herbalism is to bring the body back into harmony,
And harmony.
right?
Yeah.
It's not patchwork. It's to bring it back into harmony.
Because you can give us whatever name you want to call it. You could call it diabetes. You could call it high blood pressure. You can call it all of those names. At the end of the day, this is an inflammatory response that's out of order.
Mm-hmm.
That's what will work.
It's a response.
Because that's the root.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, getting back to what I do, skincare, right? So I always ask the questions to my clients, like, okay, what is, your skin is different than the last time. What's going on?
Yeah.
Because I know that was coming from something that she ate, she didn't get enough sleep, or she's going through something systemically, right? Because the skin is just reflecting what's going on inside.
It's true.
So if you're not eliminating,
Talk about it.
Yep.
It's going to come out.
it's going to come out, or your skin is going to reflect that, right? It might not show through acne, but it's going to show as just dull and lifeless, right? So which is poor circulation and oxygenation. So it's everything is within us. And everything, the healing is within us. Once we get in alignment with that, then we're all balanced and grounded and healthy. So I have another question. So how Dope Botanical came about, like to open the store? Let's get to that, because as an entrepreneur, I always curious about founders of businesses, like what really inspired them to open or to start a business in this case.
How do we get there?
We had been, I think it happened when I think we're supposed to do something together.
Yeah, you had said that. It was like,
And
we supposed to do something.
we have very different personalities.
Yes, we do. Yes.
And I am
But
always,
both fires.
yes,
Okay.
I'm always willing to jump off the bridge.
She'll the cliff,
Yes,
the bridge,
me too.
I'm a dive.
the
You know?
anything.
And my sister's like, well, wait a minute. Let's think this through. I'm like, I already thought about it.
But I have my passion.
I saw it already. I
And
already
I'm
saw
like, did you
it.
strap in? Did
I don't need no seatbelt, girl.
Someone like her.
Yes.
Press the gas.
Yes, we're safe.
Press the gas.
She's not in the safety checks.
I'm not reckless.
Not reckless.
But nothing excites me more than a good idea.
Yeah.
At least I think all the ideas are good. So I'm driven by that. So I said, I think I was like, yeah, you know what? We had already been doing some things. And we were like in food and things like that. And then we just got too tired to do anything with food. Yeah. And I said, let's just open an herb store.
Well, what happened was what happened was we, through our working with people in that way, we saw the larger
It was another
issue.
need.
It was another need. Because we grew up in this and we've been in this a long time, I often forget that people don't have the same practices that I have.
Or they don't know what you're talking about.
Or they don't know what I'm talking about. Yes. And I make that mistake often.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you didn't know? I'm
I
like,
do it all the
sense.
time.
I do it because it's not something I do, it's who I am. So I often make the mistake. So through our working with people in that capacity,
it was a missing
piece there. And we were like, oh wow, so people don't get that part. And we were like, oh. And then we saw a need in the marketplace where it was, things aren't being presented in the way that I would like it to be presented.
Where would you want to go?
Where would you want to go for this? I'm like, dang, it's no experience that I'll be like, yeah, that's my place. That's where I want to go.
They
That's
play the music I want to hear. It's not stuffy.
It's not stuffy. It's not dark inside.
They don't stink.
Yes, they wear natural deodorant.
Let's talk about it.
That works. Cause that's real. Cause it's a look.
You need to, keep up with
it's a thing.
It's an aesthetic.
It's an aesthetic for people, especially when they begin their journey. They feel like they more on it if they look that way.
Yeah.
Okay, novice, but that's you. But that's the thing. So then we were like, we want to open up the place we want to go to.
Yeah.
We want to we want to see it presented in this way, and we want to make things that work for people, because that's always been our thing.
I'm like, it's a herb store.
We was like, yeah, so I guess it's like a herb store, but we was like, but we want to offer people like
The
even
stuff we want to present in our voice and from our point of view.
and from our point of view, and that we feel like they would really receive well and eat, like they'll be able to incorporate it in their lives.
And even if you were a novice,
yes,
you wouldn't feel intimidated.
yes,
Right?
That's
people
the word.
come in and they've never used herbs before, but you may have had a smoothie. Right? So how could we craft something that was delicious that you would go, oh yeah, I like that. I could put this in my diet, and then have it available for you.
Yeah, and it's like I'm willing to try. Like I think I always wanted to be into this, but I didn't see myself there, or I felt like I had to look a certain way to be into this, and I didn't really like the way that was. But I was curious about it,
Or
right?
it was a judgmental place.
Or it was judgmental, which is real. Or I'm already into this. I love this, but I have no community in this because I don't really like the places that present this. It didn't fit me, right? So then you're forced to be like almost in a silo by yourself, and you might be doing everything online because it was no physical representation of where you could go to have like talk, see like-minded people, do this and do that. So like that was like the impetus and the birth of Dope Botanicals in that way. So we opened up the herb store we always wanted to go to.
And the name came from?
We had a different name, and
When we did food,
and I said, well, what is it that we do? And she goes, we make dope botanicals. I said, that's what we do. We make dope
and that was the,
and I was like, that's it.
that's the name of the store.
Yeah.
And then that's how
I
Dope
love
Botanicals
it.
came.
I love it. I love it.
That's the one.
And the store, for those that are listening to and not watching, let me give you just a little scenario. The store is dope. As you walk in, it's very inviting. I love the way you both are very welcoming. Even though it can be intimidating for others, not to me, but for others, because like girls, bonitas, they have a wall of different herbs, like loose herbs, and then the other wall they have like products already packaged, and other like incense and other things, right?
Yes. So
We have a couple smudges.
yeah, a couple smudges and things.
We're growing out. We're going to be some real dope stuff happening this fall.
Yes, this fall. Ooh, even more fun
Oh
stuff.
my gosh.
Can't
Amazing.
wait to have them back here to talk about it. I want to know about the boxes. I hear about the boxes. So tell us about the boxes.
So we know that our business needs to be online, right? Online is another location. It's not just online, right? So when we first opened the shop, we had issues keeping up with our own inventory in the store because we make everything.
Yes.
So there's not a product that's sold in Dope Botanicals that we don't create. If there ever would be, we've used it and we endorse it, right? So with that in mind, I think we didn't even think about, oh my gosh, we're not just a herb store, we're a manufacturer.
Yeah.
Right. So that kind of flew over our heads that we were manufacturing.
I never, in no part, writing out any of this.
It's so native to us.
Yeah, and we never wrote the word we never wrote manufacturing.
Yeah.
Right. So that was a lot to learn for us to have. What is it? Good manufacturing practices. How things are mixed, how things are stored.
Do they have you have to have a different licensing to be a manufacturer?
Well, the health department checks us, right? So because we have food service and we have items that are consumable, we go through health department checks like restaurants would or any of those places.
Yes.
That's why sometimes when you buy things and people go, oh, I made this and it's just a retail store. Where was the tea mixed? Was it mixed in a safe space?
Yeah.
Was there somewhere for the person to wash their
Was
hands
there a
and do the
sink?
work?
Did they wash their hands?
Yeah, like
That they
we
making
don't.
stuff for you.
So
Questions?
we knew that it had to be more than just a retail space
Yeah.
because we were manufacturing.
Yeah.
So we have a very large back of house that we're able to manufacture in, and we follow all of the standards from the health department to the good manufacturing practices, and we make sure that those things are done every day. But that has been a journey. So when we thought about going online, we said, well, how could we do this in a way that it makes sense for us? Because I don't know that our entire store will ever be online to have like one product here, one product there in a traditional way. So we're putting things in boxes.
Yeah, so they are
They're
boxes
curated.
that are curated and that can sometimes be thematic where the products go together, right? Like right now on the website we have our immunity box. So all those things are great for fortifying your immunity, getting you ready, making sure that your body is fighting against whatever's outside so that you can stay well. We'll have a digestion box. It could be a mood box. So all of those things in there will pair together and it will help you be able to incorporate practices properly, right? So oh yeah, this is my tea, this is my tincture I might do, this is my powder I put in here, I can apply it this way, and all those things go together. Right?
And these are often the things that we would recommend together anyway.
Yeah,
Anyway,
we
you just start
recommend them.
curating, kind of creating a,
Because if you came into the shop and you asked me what's good for my immune system, I would have pointed out all those things anyway. So now you can get that. And then you could just get boxes and you could be so dope at home with all your products and have a good time.
And as we grow, it may shift and change and look different. That's the thing about business, right? It's different day to day.
yeah.
So
every day is a different day.
We're willing to flow with that because we have to be willing, number one. And we have to understand that we have to flow with the ebb of business. But we also are trying to create a business that can scale. We're also working to create a business that gives you the best experience and product. And we go, well, how do we do that? This is a way that we can manage it and a way we can do that.
So that it is sustainable on our end, so that we're always able to have those things for you, so that it gets shipped on time, so that it's available. So that helped once again because we make everything. And when I say we make everything, I mean down to designing labels.
The labels, y'all.
We do it.
They told me they print their labels. No, they make the labels and print the labels.
Yes.
And one day, some of these things are going to be outsourced as we grow. Not our
As it
products
should.
because we can't. Those are very
The
near and dear to
babies,
us and how we work with them. But there's a lot of things that have changed from the day we opened the doors. It's funny because when we first started, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna make this," and she's like, "That's not enough."
Yes.
I said, "Why? That's not
I said,
enough."
no.
She said, "You need gallons." I said, "We need gallons."
Yes.
So when we first opened,
She's trying to be like this little
We
wonder
would-
witch with these little jars.
we would. It's not enough. We would sell out all the time because we couldn't even grasp what it meant to make things, And then I'm telling you, our cousin, he called me one day. He said, "Y'all done opened up this new place. Do y'all need help?" And we were like, "Yes, we need help." So because we were in deep.
Yes. So
in
it was
deep.
just the two of us.
We were in deep.
And he's our production manager.
We were. It was very.
Oh my gosh.
It was crippling at first because we just couldn't get a handle on things.
Yeah, and honestly, we keep low expectations.
Yeah.
Much to our demise sometimes, because we're like, okay, well, let's just do this amount. If it works out, great.
So it sounds like you ladies
But it
did
was way better.
Yeah, like let me find out why I'm building this business. Let me learn this thing.
Yeah.
For that part,
The market,
Yes.
you had an idea what was necessary.
Yes.
Right? Boom. I'm going to cover what is missing.
Yes.
Here's a herbal bar, apothecary, that is owned by two beautiful Black women, which is not, easy to find. high quality customer service, knowledge, and super laid back.
Yeah. And we're
And
serious
the
about our sourcing.
Rittenhouse Square. Okay.
Yeah.
This is not in North Philly.
No.
This is not in West Philly. That is in Rittenhouse Square.
Yes.
We looked for space for 5 years.
Yes. We looked a long time before we found where we thought, oh, we could make it. Yeah. Like, that was very serious for us because we knew what
Foot traffic is
foot
real.
traffic is real. Being such a niche business is real. Being able to be somewhere where people want to come, want to travel, where they are already is very real.
But also the positioning, right? The quality of what you ladies, you know, do, practice, and are. In other eyes is just on a corner of something or behind something.
Yeah, I think
You
that
know?
I feel like what led us to really see that was, can I tell you, we didn't even know we were in Rittenhouse.
Oh my God, we're so crazy.
We had no idea.
It was one
Tell
of the
me.
first articles that was put out, and they said,
I didn't know until Philly Mag told us.
yeah,
Really?
they said in Rittenhouse. I said,
We in Rittenhouse. We had been so busy trying to figure out stuff
Figure
at that
things out.
point.
it's like
But
downtown on 20th Street.
people tell us we're a COVID business, and we go, really? We didn't know. We thought it was over.
Because you guys don't get caught up on labels.
No, we don't.
No.
We really,
No.
we just knew that because we had been through so many neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like, we do all the research. At this point, we like mini real estate
Yeah,
people.
we
like
do.
I could look at something, tell you, no, I don't see the foot traffic. What's this? This corner? You know how many people got to walk past here in order for you to get a sale? However many, 10 people before somebody look up. Like, those are those things in business that people forget, right? The mindset of the
build it, they will
consumer.
come, but it's not like that.
No.
Yeah.
Like you
It's not like that in Philly.
not in Philly.
It might be like that some other places, but Philadelphia is very particular. It's a very
Very
particular
strict.
place. It's a particular place with regard to, well, we're very segregated in Philly,
Yes.
right? So it's exciting for us to be in a place where you make people see you. You know, we're here, and so are all of our homies. They gonna come to this place and do this, because far too much in Philadelphia is it thought to be, to your earlier point, oh, that business has to be here. It's not like that other places all the time.
No, it's not.
Right? So you go, and we went to school. We both graduated from Morgan State. So being in Baltimore and then being in DC and being in different places and looking at how it was just so different what you could do, establish, grow, that when you come back to Philly, you go, well, no, that can also happen. Well, we're going to do that.
Let me be
Right?
the
It's not just, oh, no, you don't go there because, why not?
No, why not? Exactly.
We not there because we not there.
But
Go there.
that is my point. Like, to be able to have these Black businesses in downtown Philly is major.
It's major, and it's an issue that we can count them on probably one hand, maybe two.
And
that's a problem.
And another thing, and that's why it's very important to support these businesses.
It is. And we from the neighborhood. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. I still, listen, I live in West Philly. But this is the thing. Why my customers, our neighbors, whoever, they come down.
They come, but I don't, but that is not even like, we belong to be anywhere. We don't need to ask for permission, right?
Yes.
And there are a group of us in business that they rather be comfortable than uncomfortable.
Yes.
Rittenhouse can be uncomfortable, right? But here, for me, and I believe that you ladies also think this way, I don't have a problem making people feel uncomfortable with my presence, because I want to make sure that my people are also coming to this space, and I can control how they respond, how they feel about us coming to these spaces.
We found out that the discomfort happens when you're not yourself.
Yes, that's the biggest.
That's the thing.
You uncomfortable being somewhere because you pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah. So that you come in, I don't care what your phenotype is. You gonna get this music we got to play.
Yes.
It don't matter what you
I'm
look
not
like.
changing it.
No. So
Because
but
I'm
we
not
know.
gonna be uncomfortable.
So
in
it's
that
no.
space.
We don't have a mistake here.
No.
You see me. You checked it out. You know what it is. So you don't get to treat me like, oh, I didn't know. Yeah, one of them. That's me.
Yeah.
You there's no mistake there. But when we try to play these games of, you sort of black, then you get what's coming to you.
Yeah, you can't, if you're gonna keep pretending or trying to like
put on the wind
dance
chime
around
music when you really wanted to hear Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? Don't why you doing that to yourself?
Yeah.
You know?
Like I'm certain stuff not gonna be played in there because it's not what I listen to. So the environment is always feeling like for us. You know? So when you come in, you feel good, and then everybody who into this feel good.
Yeah.
And if you are uncomfortable in that, then you leave. And that's fine with me. Right? But as long as we all feeling good, we all feel good. And I mean, it's called Dope Botanicals, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Because it's
You
dope.
gotta come in. Like,
You
it's
put on
not,
Taylor Swift.
oh God.
And that ain't what you really wanted to play.
No, why would you do that? I don't care who came to tour here.
I wanted West Side Gun, but I was scared.
No.
No.
Absolutely
No.
not. I wasn't going to do that. No.
The motto
this
is
lady.
be yourself.
Be yourself. And I think if you're able to do that and set yourself free
That's
from
right.
holding your own self back
Yeah.
over these archaic traditions of ridiculousness, you'll feel better. And then when you present yourself, it's fine.
And it's not a cartoon, right? Because
It's
this
not.
is really who we are.
Yeah.
This is really who we are. And that's back to we have a specific point of view and being okay that everything ain't for everybody.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's not your customer.
No.
Okay.
And that's
that's
perfect.
okay.
And that's perfect.
It's perfect. All these people in the world.
It's so many people. I only want to find the people for me.
That's it.
That's it.
The people will find you.
Because they'll find
They
you.
will find you
We look
if
for
you
each
stay
other.
if you stay authentic to who you are, which at times I feel like I think there are a group of us that kind of get to find self later in life. Like who you are, like having a good foundation as mom and dad, culturally nurturing that culture. Yeah, you are young, but you have an old spirit because you were nurtured to be as authentic as possible because the environment was that healthy.
Yeah, that's very true.
But there are people in their 50s that still don't know who they are. Right? Especially, let's say, us as women, because we wear so many different hats.
Yeah.
And we watch our grandmothers and mothers taking care of the whole village. And so then we think that we have to be like them that way. Or completely the opposite, but not knowing to bring them together. Right? The different parts of ourselves as women, as nurtured, right? Nurturers. To carrying a baby, to give birth to a business, which it takes a lot of work. And to maintain that love, because it's very easy to resent.
Yeah.
Because I had my moments, to be brutally honest. I had my moments where I was like, I need to find another job because I can't do this. But it took me a day. I was like, oh, hell no. Back at it, right? Back at it, because I love what I do and I love who I serve, right? So he is, it comes down to, you know what, the vision, the idea of, I want to create a space that I want to spend time and invite my friends and share what I know and share what I do. And I feel like that's why I love you ladies so much, because I feel like we come from the same space, from the heart and from our roots, where we came from, meaning like our belief system, the culture, and also the understanding of holistic healing,
Yes.
right? Because none of this is new.
No.
We're just kind of practicing and being reminded
Yes.
of our ancestry
Yes.
Just stewards.
gifts.
Yes.
Right?
We are
Stewards.
just stewards.
Yes, yes. So we talked about the boxes.
Okay.
They are already available online.
Yes, on
Yes.
www.mydopebotanicals.com.
.com. And any new drinks, blends, mixtures
Well, I think
for the fall?
oh, definitely.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
Whoa.
be
Definitely.
that's gonna be
We got a
fun.
lot of cool stuff coming
Okay.
in the fall.
Yeah, it's gonna
So
be new
you-
drinks coming in the fall.
And a return of a fave.
A return to some fan favorites from last fall. Let me see anything.
We have some real good stuff.
We had some good
Quick question. So around the seasons, so we're about to, summer is about to be over. So we're going into fall, winter. What is the herbs that you guys, or not even herbs, but not issues either. But we start you noticing more people coming in complaining, or they have concerns in that particular season, like seasonal things that you notice.
So, of course, in the spring and summer, there's a lot of allergy issues. When we segue into the winter, we start to get more in tune with our emotions. Right? So seasonal affective disorders, things that feeling not quite in your body, being out of your body.
Like what?
And as we transition into these holidays, you may have spent time with a family that you hate, and you feel like trash, right? Or there's sadness around everybody acting like the holidays are fantastic. You've experienced loss or death or those things, right? So in the wintertime,
It's a lot of mood.
a lot of mood things, a lot of getting into the need to feel more grounded because you are like at a hibernation point in this part of the country, right? So when we look at that, we're looking at things like roots. This is when we definitely want roots because we want to feel grounded. And roots are in the dark part of the earth. And that's kind of where we segue into, right? And the leaves are kind of, although we have, this is why we dry herbs, because we can have that year round. But we're now starting to get into more things that have roots, more things that are in darkness to allow us to blossom by the time we get to the spring and the summer. So really preparing for people to get back into their feelings is what's going to happen in just a little bit, right? If you're a parent, the hustle and bustle of getting a kid ready for school again, your routine changes.
College.
Right?
Big one.
College, that's starting early. That's starting in August, right?
Emotionally, I'm a mess.
Yes.
What happens, right?
It's a big change.
It's a lot.
It's a big change.
But those are the feelings that make people feel like out of their own body, out of their own routine. I just can't like keep 2 feet on the ground. So this is what we're looking to go into. And then usually with those things, sometimes people who will start to feel stress as a digestive upset. So that starts to happen during this time of year. And a lot of it is because this is where we live and our bodies are attuned to act in accordance to the seasons.
Because
But
we are
then
part of nature.
We are. And then life comes at you. So it's always a monkey wrench somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is not something you've dealt with before. This is a new experience. It's a new you who has to now come to the surface and be able to handle this new thing. Right? So how do we support that? It's very difficult to have a rebirth in the winter. That's usually what spring is for.
Damn.
So when
Y'all
we
listen
start,
to that?
when we start
Say that again, Mama.
experiencing things that feel like rebirth in the winter time, that is what causes us to know that we need to be grounded.
Look at nature for answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's here for you.
Yeah. Listen, we can talk about healing all day. Okay?
We didn't go over that.
What?
Menopause. I know you said
Menopause, yeah.
Oh, that's another show.
Listen, that's another show. Listen, I want us to be comfortable.
Yes.
Yes.
And I want you ladies to come back here.
Yes.
and we can talk about, you know, the herbs and the boxes for the fall season and winter. And tell us how they can find y'all, because I know where they are.
Yes. So Dope Botanicals is located 257 South 20th Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in Rittenhouse. So 257 South 20th Street. We are open Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Sundays. Those are our hours. We stick to them. If we are closed, we announce on social media. And that's about it.
Well, you can follow us on Instagram at Dope Botanicals.
Yes, that
and
part.
our website, mydopebotanicals.com.
Yeah, mydopebotanicals.com, on Instagram at Dope Botanicals. And you sign up on our website for our email list. We keep you updated, let you know what's going on, any newsletter, any drop-in of new boxes, to stay in the loop with us.
Love it, love it, love it. And I'm going to leave all that information below this video. Ladies, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having
in my
us.
place.
Thank you.
Love you, ladies. And thank you guys for watching and listening. And I'll see you all next time. Ciao.
Bye-bye.